I have spent many hours over the past few days poring over all the lore for every single character in the Piltover and Zaun region, in order to make a good guess as to which champions and characters we could be seeing in Season 2. I would really appreciate a like and a sub if you guys learned something, or if you just like Arcane in general. So to start off, I think it's pretty safe to say that we're gonna see Warwick. We saw a teaser for him at the end of Season 1, and I think it would just be absolutely crazy if they showed this and they didn't show Warwick, or have Warwick at least be a little bit a part of Season 2. And I think that there's even a good chance that there's an entire storyline about Warwick and like what this means for the Undercity of Zaun when he is unleashed. Then there's Zeri, who I think is very unlikely because she's so new. There's the obvious connection with Echo, but Zeri like just came out as a champion, and it's possible that the showrunners knew this for a long time, like 6 months ago when they were prepping for Season 2, but I think it's unlikely. Then there's Urgot, who definitely could be. I could see us seeing a mention, but it really depends what storyline they're going for in Season 2. Urgot in the lore has a whole revolution where he takes over the entire lowest level of Zaun, which is called the Sump. And that is basically like a whole storyline and villain arc in and of itself. So more likely, we're going to see his revolution of spiders happen more in Season 3 or maybe even later. There's Ezreal, who I think is almost definitely not going to be there. Maybe we get a mention at best. Ezreal, in his lore, most of his lore actually takes places in like the far reaches of, you know, God knows where, Runeterra. So I don't really see how he would tie in with the main storyline. Then there's Blitzcrank. I think Blitzcrank actually has a pretty good chance of being there. In the lore, Blitzcrank was created to help the Undercity after a series of chemical spills by Victor. Interestingly, one of the professors at the college took credit for Blitzcrank over Victor, and Jace refused to speak up on Victor's behalf, which is what ended up really splitting them in the lore. And I think, well, it's not going to be the exact same storyline. I think it might be maybe Jace gets credit for Blitzcrank, not through his own doing, but he refuses to fix that. I think we're going to see some sort of modified storyline of that, where Blitzcrank is a product of the split between Victor and Jace. There's Orianna, who there's a decent chance. We've already seen mechanical characters like the Counselor, so it's possible she's partially transformed or something. There's also, of course, the theory that Orianna is Sin's daughter. Jesus, that's hard to say. But I think there's a good chance that we don't see her as well. There's Twitch, which I think is unlikely because given the stories they're trying to tell stories about actual characters. And there's maybe another reference like there was to the rat that got beefed up on Shimmer in episode 1. But other than that, very unlikely. There's Dr. Mundo, which could be because there's the obvious Shimmer connection, but I also question what another crazed individual like Jinx would add to the series. So I think if we do see Dr. Mundo, it's probably when he's around as a Chembaron enforcer before his like horrific transformation in the lore. There's Janna, who is another possibility. Janna appears in the lore after Zaun and Piltover split because a lot of people start praying to her again in Zaun. And so I think it's possible that, you know, we see the storyline of Zaun coming and then, you know, there's mention of Janna, but I don't see her being like a mainstay character or anything, especially because I don't really see or feel the themes of religion being a big part of Arcane. There's Zac, who is almost definitely a no. He would be really hard to animate, like he'd have to be almost entirely 2D, and his story would be just completely out of left field, so I think there's almost no chance we see Zac. There's Ziggs, who is possible that we see him hole up with Jinx like they do in the manga. The manga. The manga in the comic. The manga. Oh my god. I've watched too much anime. But I think if Ziggs is there, I don't think he'll have like a very important role to play in the story. Swain. When Mel's mom mentions that someone had killed Mel's brother and that the score wasn't settled yet, a lot of people theorized that this could be Swain. And I think there's a decent chance of that. It's pretty obvious that there's going to be at least a minor Noxian storyline, given that Mel's mom was there in Act 3 and she didn't really do much, but we'll have to see who and what that entails when Arcane Season 2 2 comes around. And then Camille. I think there's a very good chance that we see Camille, and especially before her augmentations. We know from the lore that Clan Pharos has a seat at the counselor's table in Piltover. And since we know that all of Clan Pharos has super blue eyes, it's possible that one of these people on the counselor is married to Clan Pharos and has very weak genes, or more likely, Clan Pharos isn't on the council yet, and that the giant bomb that's attacking the counselor is going to kill some of them, and then Clan Pharos will come to power and get one of those empty seats on the council. And then when that happens, obviously Camille is going to be connected. We don't know how far along in her transformation she'll be, but I think there's a very good chance that we see Camille. Last and most certainly least, we have Seraphine, who she's not a super popular champion, and I don't think she really fits well with the gritty feel of the show, and I just don't see how she would be relevant to any of the storylines, so I'd expect at best a reference or a cameo. If you got this far in the video, I really appreciate that, and this video took so much effort and research to make, so if you learned something, or if you just like Arcane, I would really appreciate a like and a sub. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.